Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a video. I know it has been about a week and a half, just shy of 2 weeks probably since I did my last video and uploaded it. I want to apologize for not keeping you guys in the loop, but there's like a lot going on. Let's see. So before I get started, I want to thank everybody that has reached out to me and sent messages on my YouTube and on my Facebook posts that I put up in my various groups. You guys have been instrumental in this process for me, keeping my sanity and venting. And like I've told you guys are like my video therapy diary type thing. So I want to personally thank a few people. And if I miss some names, charge it to my head, not my heart, because yeah. So first and foremost, I want to thank my friends Kim and her husband Paul. They have been friends of mine for over a year in Journey. They live in Canada and they know what it is to struggle through this process. And they have been the family that I never even knew I was going to have. Kim and Paul, Baby Saz, love you guys. Thank you. And then I want to thank my IVF buddies who just popped up on the scene out of like magical pixie air dust stuff and just popped up into my messenger and have been in my corner 100% while I was in India. So I want to thank Susan and Tiffany and Kiki and my YouTube family, Miss 1+10 Angels. I think I got that right. I'm dyslexic, so forgive me. April P, Amy Lee Amore. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. Guru Posh Remy. Paula is a friend of mine from Facebook and real world stuff too. My girlfriend Kimberly, who I met in Journey while at clinic, and my girlfriend Tanisha out in Washington State. I got steak on the brain. Washington State. She's been also with me on this journey, and I've been on it with her for over a year now. And you guys have been amazing. Yeah, amazing. That's all I can say. So, drum roll. Yeah, no baby. Just rip the Band-Aid off of that one. Don't really know what happened, what could have gone wrong. All I know is that my numbers were 2.1, 16 days post 5-day transfer. And that's after a couple really good positive pregnancy tests. But all that to say, it didn't take. So the doctor was just mortified. My doctor was so compassionate and he was so hurt because he had no clue as to what the hell could have happened. My uterine response to the medications was amazing. My prep was like clockwork for growing my lining. Transfer was smooth and non-eventful. I was having all the signs. Blighted ovums, failure to implant, I'm not really sure. And when the information comes at you, at least for me, I need time to decompress. So that being said, doctor did an ultrasound immediately following the lab results, and he wanted to see what's going on in there. And so what appeared to be 4 fibroids popped up in 16 days out of nowhere. 2 or so were non-invasive and he wasn't concerned about them, but they've been there for a couple years. exterior, posterior, no real issue. But then the other 3 or 4 that cropped up inside my uterine cavity were protruding in. He can't say that that was or was not the issue with this cycle not being successful. All I know is that I was and still am in a place of emotional fucked upness. Yeah, I'm gonna make that a word. Not because of the negative pregnancy test, because I have been on a TTC journey for the better part of 13 years with no success. And that was with low AMH and no or low ovarian reserve and all of the things through Clomid treatments and IUI and what have you not worked. And for 13 years, I'm used to negative pregnancy tests. I'm so used to them that I'm probably never going to take another one because I can write you a dissertation on how to prepare for, accept, and read a negative pregnancy test. So I am real okay with the negative. What I was not okay with was my allowing myself to be, as I said in a previous video, cautiously optimistic. That cautiously optimistic part fucked me up. I'm grounded in a certain level of reality, and knowing the numbers were stacked against me, and knowing the first round IVF treatments numbers in general, I was pretty much prepared with my logical brain for a negative outcome, but my emotional brain having that cautious optimism, just that little glimmer, that little, as your grandmother said, mustard seed of hope, was enough to derail me emotionally. So when doctor found the fibroids, I did a full stop. I'm not one for making any kind of medical decisions under emotional duress. I'm not one for making too many decisions under emotional duress. Yes, I get emotional. My husband doesn't seem to get that sometimes. He thinks that makes me frail or something, but that's the opposite end of what it actually is. I just allow my emotions to run their course, and while doing so, I don't make real long-term decisions in that space. So doctor wanted me to stay on in India for another 10 to 14 days. And mind you, I didn't get the actual lab results until the day before I was set to travel. So I had already set my mind on traveling with the holiday coming up and just other things. He was like, I want to go in and do a hysteroscopy and remove the fibroids when I get in there. If they may be more, they may not be as bad. I just want to get in there and see what it looks like and get them out and start you on treatment and let you heal up, yada, yada, yada. And it all sounded textbook lovely. But again, being in the emotional place I was for so many reasons. One, that piece of hopeful, hopefulness. And then the disappointment layers of family and people that were emotionally vested in this treatment. A lot of them not being familiar with this process at all, having not gone through it. The senses of loss and failure and disappointing others and not really wanting to answer a fucking question about it, not wanting to have a discussion and go over again and again. What coulda, woulda, shoulda, are you gonna do it again? Did the man in the moon run away with the spoon? I really didn't want any parts of that. I wanted to come home and decompress and wrap my mind around the failure and think about my fibroids, look at where I would comfortably be able to approach and deal with it. And that's what I wanted to do. And my doctor was just like, go team, stay. And I was like, go team, go. I'm not staying here making an emotional decision. And I was chided by a couple friends for not staying. But that's the last thing I needed or wanted to do. So I came home to decompress and be in my familial place and do my normal routine things to kind of get out of my own head about it. And, you know, like any other thing, the world doesn't stop for your broken heart. So when you get back home, you got to get back into the flow of things. You know, I'm still a mother of adult children who are empathetic as they know how to be for being boys and having their own lives. I'm still a daughter to a mother who is aging and has health issues. I am still a wife and a mother to fur babies, and everything requires its attention. And I thought I would be able to decompress a little bit better and a little bit more smoothly, but I am able to decompress. It's just not as smooth as I expected it. I'm getting there. The great thing is doctor sent me home with 3 months worth of medications, which I, again, have to applaud and be grateful for, because this medication on the market here would have been disrespectfully expensive. It's still pricey, but as I said, my doctor in clinic is a rock star, and they made sure I had what I needed for the next 3 months. And so we will revisit everything I've got going on come February. Whether that means staying an extended period of time if the medication works to shrink my fibroids, yay, or dissolve them completely, yay. If it does not work to that degree and scans show that they're still there, when I go back, then I will have the surgery to remove them. And I have mentally prepared myself to stay the duration. So stay the duration meaning stay through operative procedure, recuperation, and then starting the cycle. So that could be anywhere from February till April. That could be from February till March, just depending on what it looks like. I am still committed to having a family with my husband. It's just taken a lot out of me emotionally, because I had gotten to a place a couple, 3 years ago to where I was comfortable, whether I liked it or not, with the understanding that more kids weren't going to be in my future. So allowing myself to hope just that little bit and then have it, smack me on the ass has been challenging. I've been trying to get out of my own head about it, but it's hard to get out of your own head about a failed cycle when you are waiting for 4 or 5 or 6 days for your next cycle to start, and all of the chemicals and whatnot comes out of your system. So you're waiting for that, still experiencing the last of those symptoms from being on medications, and then it starts. And I'm going to tell you, that was the worst cycle I have experienced in my recollection. And I've had some pretty doozy ones, actually, but this was awful. And that didn't let me get out of my head. Just the reminder of failure, the reminder of it not having worked, and all of the other minutia that will not let you think clearly, that will not let you separate your fact from your emotion. It's virtually impossible. And so I did a thing. And don't y'all come for me for this one, because my husband got a little testy with me, and I get it, but I cope differently, and I had stopped smoking back in January, and I was so proud of myself. A couple days after I got back, I needed a cigarette. I was like, you know what? Homicide's not an option. Hitting someone and driving them off the highway isn't an option. And I was at my point break period limit. And so I stopped and got a cigarette, and hubby found out about it, and he was not a happy camper. I feel bad that he was not a happy camper about it. I do not feel bad about having had my cigarette. Yes, I know all the rules and all the things and all the things. The moment of low point that I was at, really, one cigarette as compared to what I was going through, I weighed the odds and I did what saved me in my sanity. And so that, along with whether I have a drink or whether I decide to eat a whole fucking cheesecake or whether I decide to, bungee jump, whatever the fuck it is I did as a coping mechanism. And that's kind of the point of the end of this video, which is we all cope differently. We all prepare for this process differently. We all react differently for the failures and the successes. And there's no right way and there's no wrong way. And there are going to be loads of people that have their opinions and have their feelings about how you're coping, whether you're crying or not crying, whether you can be around people with children or pregnant women or have a cigarette or have a drink or just get surly, disagreeable, and withdraw. There are going to be people with opinions and you can't please everyone. So the best you can do is please yourself. So for me, I don't make excuses for how I feel. I don't make excuses for how I react and act to things. I try to be as genuine and as authentically me as possible. And that's my message to anyone going through this process. In order to be kind to yourself, in order to be true to yourself, you have to do what feels right for you. Everyone else's opinions be damned, because they're going to vacillate and change like the wind. Like the weather in fucking Houston. Wait around 10, 15 minutes and they will change. And you'll be left with the emotional minutia and the emotional remnants of their opinions and judgments, and still have to deal with you, and you've been disingenuous to yourself. So the message I'm getting across to you guys today is, when you go through this journey and you go through this process, you have to do what feels right, from the doctors you choose to the medications you choose to put in your system. I was chided by a friend because every medication that doctor gave me, I'm Googling it. I am on the PDR online, finding out the uses, the implications, the counter interactions with other medications, the half-life, the side effects, and the benefits of said medications. Why? Because they're going in my body, and that's what I choose to do. And anything I do, whether it's take medication, which I don't often do, drink a glass of wine or a cocktail or smoke a cigarette or eat a fried chicken wing, I'm very clear on the effects and consequences. So for me, and I suggest to others, be very much aware of what you do and do what feels good to you. Do what makes you feel good in picking your doctor, picking your medications, picking your clinic, choosing your body autonomy internally and externally, choosing that over everything else and putting you first. And then everything and everybody else kind of falls in line. Interpersonal relationships, when it comes to that, can be challenging. And I am going through that every day, whether it be with my sister, my mother, my husband, my children. And again, you have to learn to self-care and put self first so that you can be clear during this process as to how you want other people to interact with you. I see a lot of people struggling with how they should interact with people. It's about how you encourage others to interact with you, not how they want to interact with you. You have to be responsible for how people treat you. And that manifests itself in how you care for yourself, how you take pride in and ownership and accountability in you. So for me, I'm just home a week. Like today is 7 days I've been home, and I'm just in the past day or two been able to be a little more clear and pull the ball of yarn that was my emotional bullshit, pull it apart and lay it out in strands and try to make a blanket again. And so I'm clearer. I'm not as okay as I want to be, but I'm much better than I was. And I was not going to do a video for y'all when I was helter-skelter all over the place emotionally. That would have been tragic. But I did feel it important to get this video out to you guys, let you know what was going on. Thank everyone that has reached out to me and been supportive, and to let you know how valuable it is to be honest with yourself. And it's okay to be human. It's okay to be you. It's okay to fall on your face. It's okay to backslide. It's okay. And as I said a few videos back, a few months ago, cut yourself some fucking slack. Past 2 days, I had to remind myself of that. Cutting myself slack is the most important shit. That's how I'm going to get through and be successful in this process, is being authentic and genuinely me and cutting myself some slack. And I just wanted to let you guys know that although things did not pan out positively for this cycle, that I'm okay-ish. But I'm here, and I had not forgotten to do my video for you guys. I know I promised you guys a video about my doula work and my birth work, but given the circumstances of the other stuff I was going through, that had to take a backseat. That will be coming, but that had to take a backseat. I hope you guys saw the video I posted just before this one about the medication I'm on and that contraption that I'm using. I just thought that was neat, and I wanted to do a little tutorial for you. Hope you guys saw that, and I hope you take the 23 minutes that it takes to watch this video and watch it to the end, and share it with somebody that you think might be helped by it. And in the meantime, thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for listening to me and reaching out to me. I really sincerely appreciate it. Because, I mean, who would have thunk that people would have actually watched my videos? And that's important to me. That means more to me than you guys will ever know. And so from my heart to yours, broken, shattered, being crazy glued back together, or gorilla glued back together, from my heart to yours, I'm getting stronger every day, and I want the same for you. Take care of yourselves, and I love you. And I'll be back in a couple days and put another video up about how I'm doing, and if that shot I gave myself today left a bruise or not. We'll find out. All right, love you, love me, bye.